The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Wednesday, June 2nd. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. I'm joined by my co-host, the Savage One, Mr. Tony Spark. Tony, how you doing this morning?
Hey, doing good, Kristian. It's great to be here. Nuggets won in double overtime last night, so they got a lead 3-2 in the series. They go to Game 6 in Portland, which will be a tough one. Hard fought for round one, but hell of a game last night. Refs' calls were a little questionable, but not that bad. It was a hell of a good basketball game to watch, and other than that, doing good. Back to reality today, so yay.
Yeah, you got a rare Tuesday off yesterday, which I'm sure was nice. We talked about
it was good.
The show, you got to get some things done that you normally wouldn't get to do, but it is, like you said, back to reality today.
Yeah, it's always hard. You get the holiday week, so you have the shortened week, which is great, but then you've got it's a long road ahead before the next one. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, folks, let's go ahead and kick things off the way we do each and every day with a question for my co-host. Tony, I know we've talked about it in the past, but have you ever had a nightmare neighbor, somebody who was just awful that you lived next to, and what did they do to make it such a nightmare?
Well, I've had two of them. I've had the annoying one, and then I've had some bad neighbors when I think about it. The guy above us in Reno, he was a nightmare because he used to stomp all the time and he used to beat his girlfriend. So that was awful. Yeah, so you had to hear that and try to call the cops. That was bad, but he never did anything to us other than he was loud and abusive. The neighbor, my last neighbor when I owned a house in Thornton, he used to one-up us. Every time we do something, he'd do something else. So we get the house painted, he paints it brighter and then brags about how cheaper his was. We get the trees trimmed, he gets his trees trimmed, and then he brags about how he went through this company that was so much cheaper than ours. We got our roof done, he got his roof done, and so forth. It was like every time we did a home improvement that was pretty significant for the change of our house, he had to go and try to one-up us. And it was just like, I got a Tacoma right at the end, yep. And then he went out and got a Tundra because it was bigger and he got a better deal. So I'm going to have to go with him because he was kind of I liked him while I lived there, but looking back, he's actually a dick and a pot stirrer. Like I found post-divorce, like he was telling her stories of, like I would say, and he would tell me stories that, he just spun. He just is a spinster is what he was. So spinster and an upgrader. So I'm going to go with that dude.
With as bad as he was, luckily he wasn't as bad as this lady. The Minnesota woman, known internationally as the neighbor from hell, is once again being accused of endlessly harassing the next-door homeowners. Lori T. Christensen first rose to infamy a decade ago after her years-long harassment of her White Bear Lake neighbors led to the made-for-TV moniker. It was all enough to capture the attention of 2020, which highlighted the more than 100 calls to police, almost 50 citations, and enough mugshots to fill a photo album. In 2013, she was sentenced to 5 years probation and 50 hours of community service after pleading guilty to a felony harassment charge. She was also ordered to stay away from her victims, the Hoffmans. Christensen once again is facing serious allegations of erratic behavior and harassment, this time from her current neighbors in White Bear Township. Christensen, 58, was charged in Ramsey County Thursday with 2 counts of stalking, one of them a felony, this being her third alleged stalking violation in the past decade. Her alleged actions, which reportedly started in 2016, forced her then neighbors to move out in December of 2019, saying they could no longer tolerate her behavior, according to charges. Here is what Christensen is accused of doing. Christensen regularly videotaped the family when they were in their front or backyard or when out riding their bikes to the point where their daughter was uncomfortable going outside. Christensen, in summer of 2017, ran into their yard and bit their dog. Christensen routinely swore at the family's blind dog and PF, I don't know what a PF is, yelling obscenities and accusing PF of being drunk, blonde, and not having intellectual capacity. Christensen berated and filmed a fencing contractor and city inspector. Christensen filed a bevy of complaints against PF and TF to the sheriff's department and township manager, including accusations they stored property on the side of their home, put sump pump water in a creek, and were parking incorrectly. Christensen kept a female mannequin head on a stake on her deck and would sometimes turn it to look at PF. Again, I don't know what PF or TF is. Christensen is suspected of cutting a cable line to PF and TF's home as it went through her yard. And then Christensen praised her barking dog as it attacked a fence that workers were working on. Sounds like this woman truly was a neighbor from hell, and so glad that none of us live next to her, unless you're listening and you do live next to her.
Oh my gosh, what a... God, what a psycho.
Right? Oh.
Surprised her name wasn't Desi. Jeez Louise, yeah. Good Lord.
Folks, it is Wednesday. We've got a wonderful show lined up for you today. Let's talk about today's show, shall we?
Hump Day!
Yeah!
It is Hump Day, and as we do on Wednesdays, we've got Words Are Hard. We have a segment called The Greatest Generation, and then we round out the day with This Day in History. Folks, do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Behold my precious. Ooh, yeah, let me tell you something right here. It's the Loot Crate subscription box, yeah, full of exclusive loot, fun surprises delivered to your door every month.
Just pick up your favorite geeky genre, Daddy.
From the original Loot Crate, the Loot Crate DX collectible boxes, dude! Cowabunga! To the Loot Gaming video game box. Woohoo! Yee-hoo! Wowzers! With crits starting as low as $11.99 per month, there's a box just about for all collectors.
To get your geek on, head over to phoenixmedia.us/Loot Crate and claim your exclusive offer. That's FENIXmedia.us/Loot Crate. Great Scott!
Snap into a Loot Crate, dig it?
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show. We've got a little thing we talk about each show. It is our Fenix Line, our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys, the listeners and watchers, an opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Maybe you had a truly heinous neighbor from hell. We want to hear about it. Give us a call.
That'd be a good one.
Give us a call at 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Now, being that it is Wednesday, we like to look at the English language, maybe some of the weirdness, the intricacies of this language that we've come to know and somewhat love, with a segment I like to call Words Are Hard. So today's Words Are Hard is actually a revisit of our old friend idioms. These are sayings, common everyday sayings that have origins back in the past, and it actually stems from one of the holidays yesterday, which was Don't Give Up the Ship Day. And now the origin of Don't Give Up the Ship was James Lawrence, who was a Navy captain commanding the USS Chesapeake during the War of 1812. Well, on June 1st, 1813, his crew was locked in a fight with the British HMS Shannon, and he was shot. And in his dying wish, he basically told his crew, don't give up the ship. So that's where that came from, and I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other idioms that we've come to know and love here in Words Are Hard. Tony, if I say, hands down, he is the greatest guy ever, what do I mean by hands down?
Hands down, you mean there's no doubt about it, undisputed, that is the best. Or you're saying that person or that thing is the absolute best. There's no debate.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, without a lot of effort, you know, by far. Well, the origin, winning hands down, once referred to a 19th century horse racing, when a jockey could remove his hands from the reins and still win the race because he was so far ahead. So he was so far ahead that he was the hands down winner, which is why we get the idiom hands down.
Cool.
Let's keep moving on with Words Are Hard. Exploring some of our favorite idioms. What if I say, I want to ride shotgun? What does it mean, riding shotgun, Tim?
Riding shotgun, you want to ride up front in the passenger seat. So that was always a big thing, even when we were in high school. Shotgun. Yeah, you always call it. Yeah. Who wants to ride up front? Otherwise, you're riding in the back. And sometimes in some cars, riding in the back sucks. So, you know.
Well, the origin of this comes from, well, the Wild West, as you might have guessed. The person who sat next to the driver was often equipped with a shotgun to kill any robbers that might happen upon the coach, hence riding shotgun.
Oh, that's cool. Did not know that one. You learned something new.
I like turtle.
Moving on with Words Are Hard. Talking idioms, Tony, if I say don't fly off the handle, what do I mean by flying off the handle?
Don't lose your cool. Don't overreact. That's typically what that's used for.
Don't suddenly become enraged. Well, the origin, this one is said to come from poorly made axes of the 1800s that would literally detach from the handle. I could understand why somebody would get mad, either if you were the user of the axe or if you were in the path of the flying blade, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you're flying blade, that's you're done. It's over.
Most definitely. All right, moving on. Talking idioms here on Words Are Hard. Tony, it's the end of the day, and I tell you, sleep tight. What do I mean by that?
Well, you're meaning sleep good and tied under your covers in the sense that hopefully you don't wake up. Like,
Exactly.
as far as you have a nice full rest of sleep there.
Yeah, hopefully you do wake up the next morning, but
Yeah.
not in the middle of the night. Well, one possible origin of this phrase dates back to when mattresses were supported by ropes. Sleeping tight meant sleeping with the ropes pulled tight, which would provide a well-sprung bed. So before springs, before slats, they used ropes, and if it wasn't tight enough, you'd dip into it like a burrito, and I can't imagine you sleep well that way.
Right. Well, maybe. I don't know. You're like, room? You might just be snug there. Now, if you're sleeping next to somebody, not so much, I guess.
Exactly. And some mattresses these days still give you that effect depending on how cheap you go. So
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Talking Words Are Hard. Here's a more modern one that we use all the time, but basically if we say that a show has jumped the shark, what do we mean, Tone?
Jumping the Shark comes from a Happy Days reference when the episode Fonzie jumped. He jumped a thing of sharks on a motorcycle, I believe. So now what that means is the show has just gotten so ridiculous that it's literally gotten to that Happy Days moment where, oh man, it jumped the shark. It got crazy,
Yeah, it's that point where the show will get no better. It basically hits a decline at that point. And you were mostly right about the origin. You mentioned it was Happy Days. The character Fonzie literally jumps over a shark while water skiing. Not on a motorcycle, but that's okay.
Oh, I thought it was a motorcycle. Yeah, that's even worse.
Yep. Afterward, radio personality John Hine popularized the phrase jump the shark to describe the decline of the show. So, it's not often we get modern idioms, but that's probably the most modern one that I can think of.
It's kind of crappy that it's still like if you're like Henry Winkler and your character, like, how would you do that in the writing room? I got this idea. So Fonzie is going to jump shark on water skis.
It's complacency and laziness. At that point, they figured,
That's throwing darts at the wall. Yep. We're doing that. Happy Days. Hey.
They figured they were one of the most popular shows on TV. They could just write anything and people would watch it.
Sadly,
Obviously,
shows that run a long time do it. Even the best of them.
They do.
Walking Dead's done. Oh, even
How I Met Your Mother did it.
Yep. They just eventually they just hit it, and you're just like, oh.
Know when to pull that ripcord.
Nope.
Well, let's keep rolling on. Talking Words Are Hard. Tony, if I tell you to mind your P's and Q's, what do I mean?
That means basically mind your business and just stick to yourself. I don't know where the P's and Q's come from, but it's basically just mind your own business.
Yeah, be on your best behavior. Well, there are many origin stories for this one, but perhaps the one that is most fun is that bartenders would keep track of the pints and quarts consumed by their patrons with letters P and Q. So mind your pints and quarts, be on your best behavior, and make sure you actually pay for what you consumed.
All right. Good to know. That's kind of a weird tie-in for all that, but...
Hey.
Yeah.
That's why it's
now I understand the P's and Q's. I never got that. I never understood why I've heard that before. I'm like, why don't you just say be on your best behavior? Or
that's what makes this show fun and educational. All right, let's keep rolling on. Talking Words Are Hard. Tony, what if I say he's armed to the teeth?
Ooh, that's a good one. I've never actually heard that idiom before, but seriously? I'll get it. I've never heard. He's armed to the teeth, which means he's loaded. He's ready to go, would be my guess. I've never heard that one.
Yeah, extremely well equipped. Well, the idea behind being armed to the teeth is that the weapon wielder would carry the maximum number of weapons, so many that he or she would be forced to carry some between his or her teeth. And actually, to expand on that, I heard it came back from the days of pirates, where, they basically had those one-shot blunderbusses, so they would pack as many guns on them as possible, and then they would stick the knife in their mouth in between their teeth to have that final weapon when they've used all of their guns.
He's armed to the teeth, me matey. Arr, let's roll.
Speaking of let's roll, let's keep moving on with Words Are Hard. Talking about the origins of some of our favorite idioms. Tony, what if I say, man, he pulled out all the stops?
He went everything and then some, so.
And we got a moment of silence from you there, Tone, so if you wouldn't mind repeating.
Sorry,
there was
no worries. Sorry, I got a stupid phone call. It would basically repeat the question. I got thrown off. Pulling out all the stops is making sure you've left no stone unturned and you went above and beyond to make sure whatever you're doing goes off without a hitch, and and you're doing everything you can to make it so special or whatever it is you're doing.
Exactly. Well, the origin for this, alluding to the piano-like instrument, the organ, this phrase refers to when the stops are pulled out to turn on all of the sounds in an organ, allowing the organ to play all the sounds at once and therefore be as loud as possible. I didn't realize that it was related to a musical instrument. I figured it was, having something to do with either stop signs or, speed bumps or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's crazy. Did not know that.
And then finally here on Words Are Hard. Talking about our favorite idioms. If I say, oh man, your ears must be burning, what do I mean by that?
Yeah, you mean somebody's talking about you or your name is coming up in a conversation. Typically, that's what you would think it does. So your ears ringing, yeah.
Well, the origin for this, in Roman times, it was believed that a tingling or burning sensation in the ears meant that someone was being talked about by others. The ancient belief that the left-hand side signifies evil and the right hand for good also applies. Therefore, if a person's right ear was burning, then he was being praised, but a burning left ear indicated that he was the subject of evil intent. So next time your ears are burning, make note of which ear it is and just know either somebody's saying something good about you or something bad. But in any case, folks, that does it for this segment. Hopefully you're not talking too bad about us during the break, but we are headed into break. When we come back, we've got a segment called The Greatest Generation. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in a few.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure
adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show, and we are all over social media with many of you watching us as we speak on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Now, you can also enjoy us from the comfort of your own home or on the go with the ngbn.tv app on your smart TV or mobile device. Just download the app, find the Fenix Media channel there, and you can enjoy this show and all the other great Fenix Media shows as well. Now, if you want to get a hold of me on social, I'm available at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Phoenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R, or on Instagram and Twitter at Fenix Media Radio. Tony's available at facebook.com/Tony Spark. That's SPARK 81, or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81 as well. Well, folks, in this segment that I've titled The Greatest Generation, we're going to look at, the generation that, depending on how old you are either your parents or your grandparents, defined as the greatest generation, and some of the odd, quirky, funny things that they do that, just make us laugh as, the millennials or the Gen Xers that we are. So, Tony, before we get into it, any funny grandparent stories to share?
Off the top of my head, just my grandma, who was Filipino, when she would cuss, she couldn't enunciate some of the stuff for like the way her accent was. Some of it was like if she said the F word, it was typically fook, you fooking at all. Like couldn't get the S's out, so to hear my Filipino grandmother cuss was rare, but when you heard it, it was funny because you're like, doesn't sound right, fucking at all. So that funny stuff, but off the top of my head, I can't remember anything funny they did. It was just usually things they'd say, or my grandma got cut off on the road once. And that's where I heard the fucking owl. So,
well, I keep telling you, you got to watch Joe Coy's comedy specials. He's Filipino, talks about his Filipino mother. I think you'd really appreciate it. And oddly enough, it's his birthday today, too. So,
yeah, well, happy birthday to him. I definitely got to check that out.
Yep. Well, let's go ahead and kick things off here in The Greatest Generation.
Excellent.
This one, a post from Ms. Lovely13 says, my grandpa is spending the weekend at our house, and he pinned this to his door. And it's a handwritten note that says, warning, I'm naked in here. Do not enter unless you're ready to see a whole lot of dick.
That's pretty funny. I like that. That's just straight up.
And I'd like to think that when I'm older, I won't lose that sense of humor as well.
Yeah, no, that's funny. Don't come in if you don't want to see it. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Well, moving on with The Greatest Generation.
Excellent.
You have this person who said, my grandma who labeled her light switches like this. You have one that's for the fan, the other for the kitchen, the other for the living room. And then the last one says, Russia? With a question mark. Apparently it powers the entire country of Russia.
That's just gonna make you want to, drop that switch and just go.
Drop.
Yes, Russia time, Super Russian Susha from Russia. It's hello, Susha.
Moving on with the greatest generation.
Excellent.
You have this one who they say, my grandma's technique for cooking with hot oil, and it looks like a derelict version of Captain Hook, where she took a Mountain Dew 2-liter Coke, a soda bottle, cut off the bottom, stuck a spoon through the end so she could stick her entire arm into the Mountain Dew bottle, and then a towel covering the rest of her forearm. And like I said, it looks like Captain Hook made a trip to the trash heap. It's it's ingenious, but a little on the trashy side.
We'll have to give this one the.
You're not funny.
Nah.
Moving on with the greatest generation.
Excellent.
This one reminds me of my Oma, who simply sends a text to their granddaughter that says, Brooke, please send me a skinny picture of yourself.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Grandparents can be brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, the older generation, they don't care. There's no filter.
Yep. My Oma, I'd go see her and she'd be like, did you put on some weight? It's like, really? You have to point that out. Luckily, more svelte than I've ever been, but...
My Aunt Karina's mom, she does that. She calls her husband, damn, Glenn, you got fat. You fat, Glenn. I'm like, ooh. I think he knows, but be nice.
Right. You don't have to call it out.
like he knows. Yeah, he knows. We see it. We're all not going to talk about it.
Well, let's keep rolling on with the greatest generation.
Excellent.
Sometimes they buy products just for the cost savings aspect. For instance, this grandpa who bought Vibrant Mullet Shampoo, formulated for all mullets and rat tails. Hey, I guess if it works, right?
Right. Does Grandpa have a mullet or no? He just accidentally bought it.
Unfortunately, it doesn't show, but my guess is that he probably doesn't.
Yeah. It'd be awesome if he did.
Yeah, baby.
Mullets don't
it's a mullet.
Quite the baby boomer type hairstyle. But
no, they are in today, though. They're everywhere. Glenwood Springs, it's that, and kids wear pit vipers.
Yeah, it's weird. They're coming back. It's country music that I've noticed.
They're huge pit vipers and mullets, man. It's nuts.
Well, let's keep rolling on the greatest generation.
Excellent.
You have from user Awesome Brandon, who mentioned that his grandmother found a Jell-O pan that didn't realize that it was actually the shape of a giant penis. And, Jell-O's Jell-O. It tastes good no matter what the shape, right?
Yeah,
Good job.
It's all good. Oh, jiggly penis there.
Okay.
Rolling on with the greatest generation.
Excellent.
You have this user who says, my grandpa got YouTube on his TV, but couldn't figure out how to make it full screen, so he just put blankets over the parts he didn't want to look at. And it's typical widescreen with the YouTube window taking up maybe 2/3 of the screen, and then the rest surrounded by other windows. Well, he took towels and covered those little other windows that he didn't want to see. It's one way to do it, I guess, if you can't figure out how to maximize it.
In the actual ass.
Yeah.
Oh, Tony, you use that soundbite at the most appropriate time here on The Greatest Generation.
Excellent.
From user Lish Kamar says, my grandma who got her dog this questionable chew toy, which is a probably 2-foot double-sided sex toy with the dog looking at it, probably knowing more about it than the grandmother actually does.
Oh, Fluffy, what is that?
You son of a bitch.
Oh, why is it got two ends of have mushroom helmets on there? Ooh.
Hopefully it wasn't used. Otherwise, the dog would be not happy. Well, let's keep rolling on.
Or could you imagine too, like coming out like you're the girl and that's yours, and you like the dog's just sitting out there playing with it, like tossing it up in the air.
Let's keep rolling on. Talking The Greatest Generation.
Excellent.
You have this grandmother who replaced Scarlett O'Hara's face with her own, because why not? And it's a painting from Gone with the Wind, and Scarlett O'Hara's being, picked up and carried. But instead of Scarlett's face, grandmother cut out her own face, stuck it in there, and maybe she's just longing after. Forget the character's name now. It's gonna haunt me.
Now Friday will chime in and let you know that's her movie.
Okay, all right.
That's her movie. Or is it Gone with the Wind? No, Gone with the Wind's her movie. Sorry.
This is Gone with the Wind.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
I think she might be Sound of Music. I'm getting them all confused. It's one of those old ass movies she likes. She'll chime.
Same but different. All right, keep going on. Talking the greatest generation.
Excellent.
Well, sometimes grandparents have a tough time keeping their grandkids straight. So you have this grandmother who literally labels her grandkids to keep their names straight. Got a label maker, put label on one kid's name head, says Jericho, the other kid named Alex. One way to remember who the kids are, right?
Yeah, which one are you? I'm Jericho. Okay.
Get them those name tags. Hello, my name is. That might be a better way to do it than sticking it on their foreheads.
Yeah, probably wouldn't do it on the foreheads because as a kid, I can't imagine it would stay on long. But that'd be tough, especially if they were twins. It'd be really hard, and you don't know. You got to find a way man. Give them different colored shirts and go jot it down somewhere. Okay, Jericho's in blue and Marico's in white. Gotcha.
Makes sense. Rolling on, talking the greatest generation.
Excellent.
Of course, there was one point where, our parents and grandparents got the portable, picture printers, that print out photographs. Well, then the digital age came along. Well, you have this grandmother who prints out pictures from Facebook that she liked, and it's physical phone screenshots that she then printed out, with the heading, the bottoms, the banners, the number of likes, the comments, all of that onto a beautiful glossy photo.
Hey, stop!
Crop, Grandma, crop.
Oh, and then finally here in the greatest generation.
Excellent.
You have this grandmother who eats her cheese puffs and her Cheetos with a fork. Sadly, my dad does that too.
Yeah.
I'm in danger.
Yeah. Then I guess it's not bad. You want to get your fingers all,
Makes sense. I've heard
orange
people,
and powder, yeah.
Yeah, eating them with chopsticks. So why not? Fork works just as well.
Fork and Cheetos,
Exactly. Well, folks, that does it for this segment. When we get back, we're headed into the final segment of the show. That means it's time for This Day in History. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool, and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving? makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. We've made it to the final segment of this episode of the Kristian Fenix radio show. Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix radio show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
All right, little was that Airplane? No. Naked Gun? No. Dragnet. Yeah, one of those. Leslie
It was
Nielsen.
one of those,
Things
yeah,
and
I
all
don't
of
know. And plus, I just thought, I'm like, yeah, it's like the intro during our intro. Why not? That's just
Exactly.
what I was running out of time, couldn't find anything else. I'm like, no, we'll just roll with that.
Well, while you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always get the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think. And tell your friends, because why, Tony?
Sharing is caring. Like, subscribe, share. And I'm supposed to tell you Rhett was the name of the character.
Rhett.
Rhett? From Gone with the Wind.
That's it.
So,
yep.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Yes,
Well,
thanks,
folks-
Jamie, for that one.
Absolutely. Well, being that this is the final segment of the show, we like to drop a little knowledge on you, hopefully make you laugh at the same time. It is time for This Day in History.
Traversing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Thanks, Siri. All right, kicking off this day in history, this day in 1625, Prince Frederick Henry is sworn in as Viceroy of Holland and Zealand. I never understood why there were so many different names for the different hierarchies, lords, viceroys, barons, princes.
You are the Prince of Orange, Frederick Henry. You are now the King of Viceroy, Holland, Zealand. Ah!
That looks exactly like he would sound as well.
Yeah, kind of, right?
Exactly. Moving on, this day in 1835, P.T. Barnum and his circus begin their first tour of the U.S., which actually ran all the way up until just a few years ago, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a bit. I got this idea. We're gonna get a bunch of animals. Hear me out. We're gonna put little hats on them. They're gonna ride bicycles, and then you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna find clowns, and then people are gonna be acrobats. It's gonna be a great show.
That's where the Flying Graysons got their start, right?
Yep, that's what I was thinking. I was gonna say Robin, but I left that out. But yeah.
Let's roll on. This day in 1863, Harriet Tubman leads Union guerrillas into Maryland, freeing the slaves. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there is a movie coming out about Harriet Tubman relatively soon.
Oh, okay.
Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
All right, Union guerrillas into Maryland.
Yeah, and not monkey gorillas, but
yeah, I know.
War fighter people.
Fighters.
War fighter people.
War fighter people.
It's Wednesday. Words are hard. Moving on, this day in 1875, Alexander Graham Bell makes the first sound transmission. Obviously, that led to his invention of the telephone. And Tony, do you remember how he proposed people picked up the phone and answered?
Oh, hoy, hoy.
That's it. Yep.
Ahoy, hoy.
So glad we didn't do that.
Yeah. Ahoy, hoy.
Moving on, this day in 1896, Italian engineer and inventor Guglielmo Marconi applies for the first ever patent for a system of wireless telegraphy in the United Kingdom. It's amazing to think that in 1896, somebody was working on technology that we use every day now. And of course, he had a badass name, Guglielmo Marconi.
That's a Guglielmo. Hey, everybody. It's Elmo Macaroni. Guglielmo here. I'm an Italiano engineer and inventor. That's right. Wireless telegraphy. Yay!
It's what I think of every time I read his name.
Guglielmo.
Moving on, this day in 1924, a couple days ago we talked about the Trail of Tears and the dark spot in American history. Well, luckily this at least took steps to right that wrong when President Calvin Coolidge signs the Indian Citizenship Act, also known as the Snyder Act, declaring all Native Americans to be American citizens. So, didn't right all the wrongs, but at least it was a step in the right direction.
It was. That's Calvin. Calvin Klein.
No, Coolidge. Speaking of presidents, this day in 1933, I almost said 33er.
Yeah, 33er, Bill, because it has FDR behind it. It looks like 33.
FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, authorizes the first swimming pool built inside the White House. Crazy, you would think there'd be a swimming pool even earlier than 1933, but...
Yeah. I declare there shall be a swimming pool in my house because I am the president. FDR. Build me a pool.
Moving on, this day in 1935, future Baseball Hall of Fame slugger Babe Ruth announces his retirement as a player at age 40. I can't imagine, anybody playing baseball till they were 40. There were a few notable exceptions. I think Mark McGwire was nearly 40 when he retired.
Yeah.
A-Rod, he was 40, 41, but very rarely do baseball players.
Yeah, they kind of cut it out around 35 to 38 in that range there.
Exactly. All right, moving on, this day in 1962, Ray Charles's cover of I Just Can't Stop Loving You from his influential crossover album, Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, hits #1 on the Billboard music charts. And, the movie Ray with Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles, fantastic movie, well worth going back and watching again. What a great musician and pioneer.
Absolutely. Look at them pit vipers he's wearing. Just kidding. There's just big glasses, yeah. Pit vipers, yeah.
Moving on, this day in 1981, the peak of journalism. Barbara Walters famously asks Katharine Hepburn, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Did she end up answering?
I don't think she did. It's such a ridiculous question.
If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? Woo-boo.
I mean, that's a James Lipton type question.
Yeah.
Not Barbara Walters. You would expect more from her.
Yeah. Wabba.
Moving on, this day in 1987, the Mariners draft Ken Griffey Jr., #1. Of course, a fantastic baseball player, and the last time the Mariners were any good.
Yeah, sadly, the Mariners have not been good, but man, they've had some great players come through them. And it's a shame. They're not like a bad baseball franchise. They're not like the Rockies. They're fairly run pretty well. I mean, they were owned by Nintendo at one point.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, that's how they were able to do Ken Griffey Jr. baseball, because Nintendo owned the Mariners. So, fun fact. Hell of a ball player. Actually, one of my favorite of all times.
Yep. I used to have his rookie card. I might still have it somewhere, but
hopefully you do. It's worth some money.
Well, let's roll on. This day in 1989, Dead Poets Society, film starring Robin Williams, premieres. Carpe diem, everybody.
Yeah, great movie.
Yep.
Great actor as well.
Yep. Sad loss when he died a few years ago, took his own life due to depression. All right.
Sad.
This day in 1994, Indonesian censors banned Steven Spielberg's Schindler's List. Fantastic movie, of course. Indonesia's so censored anyway. We can see why they censored it, but sad that people out there don't get to see it.
Right. Well, sure they'll find a way. It's modern day. It's not hard to find things.
Yep. This day in 1997, Timothy McVeigh is found guilty of the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing that killed 168 people. And if I remember correctly, I think he died in prison.
Yeah, I don't think he made it to the end of when he was supposed to be executed. Guy's a piece of crap.
Absolutely. And then finally here on this day in history, this day in 2004, Ken Jennings begins his 74-game winning streak on the syndicated game show Jeopardy! And if I remember correctly, I think he's going to be a guest host for a run of the shows as well.
Yeah, I think he already had his run.
Oh, did he?
Okay. Yeah, he had his. I know. Mayim, is it Mayim Bialik?
Mayim Bialik, yeah.
Bialik, like she's doing it this week, as it was in our entertainment section today. But when they go for a final host, I think that I could see him being in the running, because eventually they're going to have an official one, right?
I still think LeVar Burton needs to do it. He's guest hosting, but I think he needs to be the permanent one.
Yeah, be interesting. Look forward to seeing what happens soon. Because
Exactly.
I think they're just doing the guest host this season, and then next season they'll have the official replacement.
Exactly. Well, folks, it is that time where we tell you about today's holidays, where we talk about the things that we like to celebrate. For instance, today is American Indian Citizenship Day.
Calvin Coolidge, yeah.
Obviously, what we talked about earlier. It is Global Running Day. If you enjoy running, get out there and run.
Yeah, right.
It is I Love My Dentist Day, which is really no day ever. It is National Bubba Day. Okay.
Bubba girl.
National Leave the Office Early Day.
Oh,
I can't do that because my office is at home, so that's the way it goes.
I'm stuck at work. I can't do anything about it.
It is National Rocky Road Day. It is National Tooters Day, National Rotisserie Chicken Day, and finally, Yell Fudge at the Cobras in North America Day.
Cobra Kai never dies.
Folks, that does it for our Wednesday show. We will be back tomorrow with Florida Man. Enjoy your Wednesday, everybody.
Peace.